Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first podcast of Magnificent Magazine. Today, we're having a master in quantum physics, bioenergetic medicine, Dr. Grant KRUHLY, to help us figure out how to use the power of our subconscious mind to make our New Year resolutions a reality this year. So, are you ready to have your mind blown away? Let's get started.
Hello, Dr. Grant.
Hello, Gada. Thank you so much for having me on today.
So I'd like you first to introduce yourself to our audience so that they get to know more about you.
Okay. So, hello, folks. I'm Dr. Grant KRUHLY, and I've been studying the field and consciousness for 43 years. The kind of work that I do now, I'm an international healer, and actually most of my clients are in the Middle East, Dubai, and all of your part of the world. And I'm from Canada. I live in Thailand. I work in the field where the cause of the problem is. And I just clear it. I clear it surgically using a sophisticated science of frequencies that was developed by a great doctor named Ted Morter. And I apprenticed for 9 years to learn how to do that. And since that time, my system has evolved until it's very, very unique. I'm the only guy in the world that does what I do now.
I think people would first like to know more about the science behind how the subconscious mind can make your life better.
Okay, well, that's a good question because the subconscious mind is the only thing that's guiding everything you do. Talking cutting edge, peer-reviewed science. So let's get a couple of things ironed out so you can get an idea of what we're talking about. All of your perceptions, all of your beliefs, all of your experiences, your emotions, everything is coming through your subconscious mind. How does that work? Well, the subconscious mind starts to be formed at the moment of conception, and the first primary main program finishes development at the age of 7. So from the time you're conceived until the age of 7, the subconscious mind is this virtual recording system. The trick is the subconscious mind is very powerful. It processes 400 billion bits of information a second. The frontal cortex, where the part of your brain that you identify as you and your ideas and your education, it only operates 5% of the day, and it's 1 million times weaker than the subconscious. So the trick to life is, if you have an idea, if you have a desire, if you have anything, it'll only happen if the subconscious mind says yes. If a program in your subconscious mind says no, it will never happen, period.
So you're saying even if you are consciously interested to do something, you won't be able to do it unless your subconscious mind approves it.
That's why people make New Year's resolutions. A lot of you may have experienced this. You get a great idea. You're very inspired. Like, say you want to lose weight or something, and you're going to start an exercise program. You got the diet. You get started, and 3 weeks later, it's gone. Or 1 month later, it's gone, or whatever amount of time, but it's gone. The reason it's gone, the program in your subconscious mind says no. You're not doing that.
So
and that's called cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance means you have an education, you have an idea here, but it's 1 million times weaker than a belief you got from your mom or dad that says you can't do that. You can never have that. You can't be that. That never happens. That's only for rich people. That's only for specially blessed people. And so it doesn't make any, you can have 1,000 PhDs. It doesn't make any difference at all. because the subconscious just cancels it out. So how many of you that are listening, you've been trying to do something or change something in your life for 10 years?
I think so many of
years.
the people listening are gonna agree that even dieting.
Yeah, I did.
Dieting is a problem.
Yeah. I did too. I for decades, no matter how many things I studied, none of it ever happened. It all happens now for me, but it's because I address the subconscious mind. And the nice thing is, I can show you how to get the subconscious mind to endorse anything you want.
Let's start first with what puts the data into the subconscious mind.
Well, the subconscious mind, it just acts as a giant tape recorder. And it's in until the age of 7, the brain is in a theta brainwave pattern, which is a hypnotic level of, when you go to a hypnotherapist, they will put you in a theta brainwave pattern. So until you're 7, that is the highest level of neurologic development. So your brain is recording everything, especially emotions, feelings, and it's recording it as fact. It doesn't know right or wrong, good, bad, yes, no, I like, I don't like. All it does is say it's fact. So that is the primary. And then from age 7 to 14 is the secondary program, where your parents are still influencing you, and then school and friends and other societal things start to come in. After 14, you get programmed by society. So you're being programmed, and all you basically are is a computer readout. That's all you are. You can do anything you want, but that's what you are. The trick is you can change it. But first you got to find what you want to change.
But now you were saying that till 7 years old, your subconscious mind depends on the things you're seeing all around you, whether it's your parents, the community you're living in. Any person you get in contact with affects your subconscious mind. So even if you met somebody in the street and had a little conversation with them, it might affect your subconscious mind.
It might. That's right. That's exactly right. But mom and dad are the main. Everything that you experience in your life is related directly to mom and dad. See, you have to realize your subconscious mind isn't you. My subconscious mind isn't me. It's mom and dad.
Now moms are working and they send their kids to nursery when they are like 1, 2 years old. And now the 8 hours that kids are spending at the nursery are affecting their subconscious mind and building in their programming.
Yeah, it's a real problem. It's a huge mistake. And you see, here's the trick with this stuff. They're your children. You try to pick a nice person or a daycare place or whatever, but those people, they have a different energy. It may not have anything like how you think, how you feel, how you believe, and all of that is going into your child.
Yeah. Even having nanny at home isn't a very good idea.
What you would want to do with a nanny is know her and study her and interview her extremely carefully. You have to try to control as much as you can that whatever that lady says or does is congruent with what mom and dad want and believe for their kid. All it takes to change the entire history, the rest of let's say you have a little girl, all it takes for the nanny to destroy her love life and her ability to be married and be happy is offhandedly say to the little girl, you know, you're not likable, you're not lovable, and you're a sloppy, miserable kid. And that kid, that'll go right into the subconscious. And anytime as she grows up and she meets or wants to love people or have them love her, that program will be the one that is playing in her mind. That's how it works.
And of course, the parents wouldn't know that because it's like a sentence within the day.
Yep. That's right. Okay. And the kid takes it solid. In
Yeah.
my work, what I do when I treat clients, I try to locate those moments and I can shut it off. And as soon as I can when I shut that off, their brain internally changes. It changes shape. It's called neuroplasticity. When it changes shape, it changes their perception, and then their subconscious mind no longer plays that tape.
So we'll get back to that, to get into the details, but let's talk about the 7 years after, the first 7 years. You said till 14. Now you depend on the society to program your subconscious mind. So does it have the same effect?
It does. It's just that the first 7 years is the basis. So it's all the software, and then every other kind of programming that you get, public school, high school, the collective, like your city, town. Egypt is, I guess, is different than Dubai, is different than New York. All of those things are being filtered through the base of the first 7 years. Example is, during the first 7 years, mom or dad, when they're having a bad day, offhandedly say to their little girl or boy, "You're never going to amount to nothing. You will never have money. So just forget about it. You're too stupid to learn anything anyway." And they happen to say something like that to the child up to the age of 7. So now that's in the primary program. So let's say they're 14, 15, or 16 years old. They're in high school, they're meeting people, they're going through their life. But as they meet people, or as they try to be ambitious or join things or do things, in their subconscious, the program that's playing is, you're too stupid, you'll never be able to do anything. So every time they try to do stuff, it'll fail, or they'll experience failure. They'll find themselves having friends who put them down, are not loving and supportive. And why does that happen? It's a reflective universe. So the people we meet and the world around us is reflecting back to us. So whatever the programs that are playing, you can find out by looking at your friends and your life, at your family, your kids. All of that is reflecting back for us what is playing inside us, because it's very hard to see it. You have to know how to look.
If this happens after the first 7 years, so the subconscious mind is always reprogrammed.
Well, not reprogrammed, added. What I'm trying to say is it becomes added. Now, if we want to reprogram, we can, but you need a process that reaches the subconscious mind. Like, for instance, people do affirmations, but an affirmation is only looping here. It doesn't touch the subconscious mind. They can say their affirmation till hell freezes over. It doesn't make any difference. A good scientist to listen to regarding that fact is the great microbiologist Bruce Lipton. If you do an affirmation in a particular way that reaches the subconscious mind, for instance, Psych K, as we live our life, stuff is added onto the subconscious, but it's being built on the basis of the primary program up to the age of 7. So the primary program is so powerful.
If I was told I'm not likable till I was 7, after that, the base is that I'm not likable. You mean that?
Okay, there's a very good question. Do you know what anorexia is?
Anorexia, people who eat and throw up after that, yeah.
An anorexic will be very, very thin, very thin. because they're starving to death. But they think they're fat. In their mind, when they look in the mirror or they look at their body, they're perceiving themselves as fat, even though they're dying. They're so skinny. They're bone. Okay. So you get a strong primary thing that you're not likable or lovable as a little child, and then you get older and everyone's telling you you're so lovable. And you smile, but you don't believe it.
So you need to work on this first programming so that you can accept love after that.
Yes, and you know who understands this secret really well is the media. Media, just like I understand this neuroscience, media and the powers that be, they have the multi-millions of dollars, especially pharmaceutical companies, people like that, and they program everybody. They use the very same science to make people do whatever they want and believe whatever they want, the same way as I heal people so they can be free.
Is it easy for people to do this reprogramming? There are tools like meditation, like affirmation, a lot of stuff out there. So do these help in the reprogramming of the subconscious mind?
The number one best way to do it, folks, if you want to do this on your own, strongest method and the fastest method, it's what I use myself, is Psych K. PSYCH-K. And Psych K is something you can do at home. It's better if you have someone who can test you so you get the right posture, because there's a posture we call whole brain, and it requires you to cross your wrists and your ankles. That affects the brain. We have a plate called the corpus callosum, and whenever you cross your wrists and your ankles, you interwind and interconnect both hemispheres together. And then what you do in Psych K is you make a precision language affirmation, and you repeat it over and over again for 5 minutes in the whole brain posture with your eyes open and closed. You say it silently, you say it out loud, and they will teach you how to do it on YouTube. You do the whole brain posture. It's designed specifically to tap in and connect to the subconscious. Especially when you're first waking up and you're sort of half asleep, it's nice to say any kind of affirmation then. It has a little bit of effectiveness. But with Psych K, within 5 minutes, that neural connection is made. If you do the same sentence for 5 minutes for 7 days, you will automate it. When it's automated, you no longer think about it. You don't have to think about it at all. You will just do it.
Okay.
You're literally making your subconscious mind give you the life you want.
I'm a little curious here because I've been reading about the power of subconscious mind and how it can bring you even money. I can understand the way subconscious mind makes you feel about yourself, but how can it make you change the universe around you, change people, the way they treat you, the money that's coming to you, the opportunities that's open to you?
Okay, so that is an excellent question. And here's how it works. It's very simple. First, you have to realize that the universe, all of the people you know, everything, the good people, the miserable people, the ones that make you happy, the ones that make you very angry, every single thing is a reflection of you. It's all it is you. You're looking at yourself. So if you meet a real rude person, they're reflecting to you how you may be a very polite person, but somehow there's a vibration of rudeness in you, And this person is reflecting it to you so you can find it. Okay? How does the subconscious mind change everything? Your results. Very simple. Since everything is reflecting you, you are your beliefs and your perceptions. How you see the world is based on your beliefs. Your beliefs are in your subconscious mind. They're not here at all. So you might have all kinds of beliefs here, but they don't mean anything unless the subconscious says yes. So let's say we change the subconscious mind. That means we change the structure of your brain. Your brain inside it moves. And when the neurons, they touch together, they make a circuit. And then that becomes the new belief or the new perception or the new emotion, the new feeling. So you change the subconscious, which changes your brain. When you change your brain, you change the way you see things, the way you perceive. When that happens, you change your vibration. When you change your vibration, you change your entire world. So if your first vibration was, I'm poor, I don't have any money, how am I going to exist? I don't know what to do. And that is your perception, that's your vibration. The world and the universe says, so be it. And it gives you no money, you don't know what to do, you have lots of stress. If I change the inside of the brain and shut that program off, all of a sudden you start to think, actually, I have a lot of things. I have a lot of friends. I have a good body. I have food. I'm actually very wealthy and I'm a smart person. So now that's your vibration and the universe says, okay, he feels abundant or she feels abundant, we'll give him more. And that is the law of attraction in a nutshell.
I tell you what I understood from that. I understood that your subconscious mind affects the way you see things. So
Yes.
when you adjust it, you see the same things in a different way. You analyze it in a different way. That's how you can create different situations.
That exactly.
Okay.
That is exactly right, Gada.
Okay. Okay. So how can the subconscious mind and how can you help them reach their best potential in the new year?
Well, if you want to deal with the subconscious mind, then you need to get a hold of me or somebody else that's a specialist that can do that kind of work. But I have another strategy for you that's very, very critical, and it'll give you a remarkable year if you just take the time. Okay. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to get some quiet time with a pad and paper and a pen. And I want you to put categories of what consists of your life. Like, for instance, health and fitness, career, family, love life, fun, leisure, your personal appearance, friends, relatives, your intellectual pursuits, everything you can think of that makes up your life, your home, very, very important. Any other environments, okay, that you work in, where you work, everything. Okay, you think of all the categories, and then you have to sit down very carefully and you identify in each of those categories your core values. Core values. Okay, so a core value, for instance, in my home, a core value for me is opulence, and it's got to be very peaceful and spacious and serene, and everything is first class. These are qualities. Values are qualities. In your lover or in your husband, wife, or whatever, what are the qualities that you want them to have, that they need to have? And then what are the qualities for work? You know that statistically right now in the world, 85% of all people who are in a job hate it. That's really stupid, right? That's really stupid. The secret to life and to happiness and power is to make your life congruent with your core values, not mom's core values or dad's core values or the family's core values or Egypt's core values, or what are your core values? And then when you do that, you make it for every one of those areas. Then you have a blueprint and a framework for making decisions, for making choices, for designing your life. That's what this is all about. You sit down, you take time to first understand who you are, what is important to you, how do you feel. Then you take that and you start to design your life. Anything, anybody, anything that isn't congruent, if you're living in a house that is not congruent with your core values for a home, change it. Either leave, change everything, but make your home congruent with your values. And then your home will nourish you. It will empower you. It will support you. If you have friends that tear you down, insult you, get rid of them. And here's the great master of the subconscious mind in business, multimillionaire Bob Proctor says, the only thing you have to do, Gada, is make a decision. When you make a decision, your energy changes. It rises into the level necessary to take the action. The problem with most people, 99% of people, is first, they don't know who they are. They don't have a clue. Especially in older cultures where the family dictate. Don't ever let your family dictate anything. Anything. You dictate your life. If you're miserable because your family makes you do this and that, that's your problem. 99% of my clients are in Dubai, Egypt, Morocco, and all through the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. The whole issue, 99.999% of all of them, is everybody is unbelievably unhappy, okay? And you actually want to live until you're dead, until you get old and die. If you want to live a happy life and you actually want to enjoy your life and you want life to support you, we have the science to understand exactly the whole issue. But what I'm trying to give you is, if you start to identify if you don't know what your core values are, all you see is unhappy people who live miserable, horrible lives, and they're holding it all in, and then they get cancer because all that energy is going to cause liver cancer, stomach cancer, heart attacks, stroke. That's how all that stuff comes. The key in living a skillful, good life is what we call inner integrity. Inner integrity simply means, Gada, don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Did you know that we on average, a human being thinks 90,000 thoughts a day? Of those 90,000 thoughts, 90% of those are redundant. It means it's the same thought you thought yesterday. and at least 75% of them are all negative, and they are not yours. They're all subconscious. The subconscious remembers very easily when mom or dad are really angry, or if they're angry at you, or if something was scary, anything that is emotion that's negative, it remembers that because the amygdala got lit up, and it floods hormones through the whole system. So it's a very powerful signal. Most people don't remember when someone just gave them a flower, or a little child smiled at them, or they saw the beautiful blue sky and thought, oh, isn't that beautiful? Those kind of things they forget very quickly. But if something's really negative, like they got a flat tire and then this ugly man was staring at them and they were scared, they'll remember that for the rest of their life. But it's because of the way the neural cocktail of hormones, and that's all lit up because of the amygdala. The only thing with modern society is once they figured that out, they light you up all the time. That's why one of the fastest ways to have a happy life, folks, unplug yourself from media. Select only media like Gada, media that is nice, productive, focusing on good education, but if you unplug yourself from the news, from all that trash and garbage, 99.9% of it, folks, is all lies. That's all that is. There's no truth to none of it. I've never wasted in my entire 63 years of living, I've never spent 1 microsecond looking at any newspaper. Never touched me. I'm not programmed by none of that stuff. And that stuff is, let me tell you something. Algorithm is what the media uses to manipulate your mind. And it's an exact science. And those people have the millions of dollars to buy the finest scientists in the world to figure out the exact algorithm to manipulate your mind. The only way I know to not be affected by their algorithms, do not look at their algorithms. Plug into progressive, good people that are working for saving the planet, ways of being happy, like this kind of information. If you do what I'm telling you your whole life, if you ever saw how I live now, let me tell you, folks, I was as poor as a church mouse. I've had cancer. I broke my back in half when I was 27. I healed all of it with no doctors, no medicine, no nothing. I went from poverty to now I live a very opulent life, all because I did what I'm telling you. Your health is an exact printout of how you think. That's all your body is. Your body is symbolic. It's symbolic. The basis of quantum science is understanding you and I and everything is just energy. It's all just energy fields. You start to understand that, then life becomes very different. If you think that you're a real solid thing, and that the tree is a real solid thing and everything is solid, none of it's solid. If you look at it with the right glasses, all you see is areas of different frequency energies all interacting together. Your heart, for instance, you look at a heart, human heart. Actual heart is 6 to 8 feet in diameter and extends up through up above your head and below your feet. And they can look at that field now. They have the instrumentation.
The energy of the heart extends beyond the size of the heart?
Oh, hell yeah. And your heart is, your energy field is huge. You can find people, they've measured people with energy fields of their heart 65 feet in diameter. 65 feet in diameter. So
somebody with a warm heart is going to have a bigger energy field than somebody else who's mean or something?
That's right.
People can sense that?
you can not only sense it, you can use it to help heal your family, your children. Why do you think all the children, we all want to go around mom when we're scared or if we want to feel love? Because mom's heart is the strongest heart field in the family. Dad is usually more intellect and rules. Mom is love, and mom's field is huge. If she's a real loving sweetheart of a mom, her field is huge. And as soon as the children, we come near mom, we start to feel better. Why? How does that happen? If the child's heart is, say, the field, let's say the child is scared or lonely, and it's like, say, that big, and mom's field's that big. When the child gets into mom's field lends her heart, the child's heart energy, and the child's heart grows. And that's, if you want to see the data on that, folks, just go to the Heart Math Institute. The head director, the scientist that's the director of research is Roland McCready. And you can see all of the data on exactly how that works. But all of us, we can lend and grow our heart. Now, it's very simple. It's the most simple thing you could ever do, and it's the most powerful. No, it's not the most powerful, but it's very powerful. All you have to do is put your attention in your heart, and you start to breathe nice and slow. And I want you to imagine that your heart is like a balloon, and it's the one that fills with air, not your lungs. You use your imagination that your heart is breathing, okay? Once you imagine that, think of someone or something you love very, very much, and then feel that love. Just feel it going in and out of your heart. And when you do that for 5 minutes, here's what's going to happen. Your brain up here is going to entrain. It's going to perfectly coordinate with your heart variability rhythm. In other words, your heart and your brain are going to join. The sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous systems. Sympathetic is the stress nervous system. Parasympathetic is the happy, peaceful nervous system. They're going to come into entrainment. Your immune system is going to jack up real high as 294% stronger.
Wow.
Okay? Cortisol, the stress hormone, it's going to drop 45%. And DHEA, the growth hormone that keeps you young, is going to rise 45%. Happen in just 5 minutes of feeling love in your heart as you breathe. I do it every single day.
I think that about it makes you look younger. It's gonna interest a lot of people.
It will. What it does is it'll actually make you younger. How does it do that? That's another science we call epigenetics, or signal transduction. When you do heart coherence, when you generate love in your heart like that, you change the entire biochemistry of all your body. And when you change the biochemistry of your body so that it's working on that frequency, which is love or gratitude, inside your cells, it activates the finest genetics. It activates your DNA to express the finest health, the finest growth and repair, which keeps you young. And then that ties in, again, you know, the subconscious mind. Aging is a belief. We all have it because it's thousands of years old, but it's not true. In laboratories all over the world right now, they take single cells, like a little single cell from your body, and they put them in a little dish. and they give it real good food, and they make sure that it's real clean. And those cells are living over 60 years. One cell living over 60 years. They have them in laboratories all over the world. It just lives forever. So basically, we should really live about 250 years or more, and we're totally designed to do it. The problem is the programming and the belief is so strong that as you grow older, you're going to age. So you can do epigenetics and you can do special meditations, but even the greatest, highest level enlightened beings, they still age because the collective energy is so strong. Whatever we believe, you're right. That's what Henry Ford said, the guy that built the cars. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're right. You're 100% right. That's why the subconscious is so important. See, God, in my case, I've worked on my subconscious for years. So my life, everything, it's unbelievable. But I'm the living proof of what I'm telling you. Money, health. You know, I've had my back broken in half. At L5 when I was 27 and told by many surgeons that I was finished. I healed all of that with no doctors, no nothing. I'm in Olympian shape. I'm a world-class martial specialist. I taught the United States Special Forces and SWAT teams, and I prepare men to be Marines.
But does it everybody when they grow up, they lose their hair, they get their bones aching. So even that, you can reverse that. You can reverse the action of losing hair and losing.
Well, I was just listening to a man named Vishen who runs, he's the head of Mind Valley. And I recommend the guy, he's good, I like him. And he reversed his genetics, and he was losing his hair massively. And then I guess that all came back. Now, I lost my hair when I was about 30 years old, and I don't know anything about regrowing hair, but what I'm referring to is your joints, your heart, your liver, all of your blood system, your skin, your energy. You can reverse and bring that way. You know, the science has gone so far now. We're so far advanced, but you just have to tap into it. I mean, the school system is trash, folks. It's trash. They're still teaching, even in the big universities in the United States, they still teach that the nucleus is the brain of a cell. The nucleus is no more the brain of the cell than I'm the tooth fairy. The brain of the cell is the cell membrane. Dr. Bruce Lipton's research, he is who discovered epigenetics in 1967, doing stem cell research. If you want to see the microbiology on what's the actual truth of things, just go on YouTube and pull up Bruce Lipton, Lipton, Bruce. He's the most famous and the most brilliant quantum physicist, microbiologist in the world. And he's a lot of fun to listen to. He's very comical, and he will tell you what the actual fact of the matter is with biology. None of the schools teach the truth. Science moves very fast, and the system that runs all the money runs very slow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very, very slow.
Yeah, I was about to ask you this because what you're talking about is like mind-blowing. So why isn't it like widespread? Because you can get better in health, you can get younger, everything is cool.
Here's the trick. I was listening to an old martial art friend of mine who's now a world famous doctor, and he was being interviewed. What's his name? Tom O'Brien, Dr. Tom O'Brien. And he just like me, he doesn't mince words, and I really like him. So we're going extinct, folks. We got about 20 years, and there won't be any more people anywhere, period, because we're all going to be dead unless something changes really drastically, okay? So what Gada just said is, why, like she says, why isn't all of the science more widespread? That's right. That's what all of the big scientists like Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza and Nassim Haramein and William Tiller and Greg Braden and everybody is on the air, and this guy Vishen is running Mind Valley, and they get all these big scientists together. Everyone is trying to educate the public about the truth, because all of the garbage they teach in the schools is wrong, and it's killing the world. It's killing all of the air, all of the water. By 2045, there will be no fish alive in any of the oceans anymore. 2045, gone. For 100 years, they've known the truth. They don't do nothing about it. And you know why? Because what I'm trying to tell you empowers you. It gives you the power. The fact of the matter is, the human brain can manufacture and produce any chemical to cure any disease, and that's all proven, folks. This isn't theory. This isn't theory. That's a proven fact. If you want to see the research, you pull up Bruce Lipton and you pull up Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza now is healing catastrophic diseases, incurable diseases. He's doing it routinely. He's got the research, and all he's doing it with is meditation. He's using meditation with the subconscious mind, and he's healing catastrophic diseases.
Yeah.
The people that have all the money, they want to make sure you don't know, that you just do what they say, that you buy their products.
So we're gonna sure work on this area because it's very rich, and we should tackle it in.
Okay. All right.
So let's, because we're running out of time, let's recap to our audience what, like in a couple of points, what can they do to make the new year is a better year for them?
The number one thing for you to do to make the new year better is sit down and really, it's so important. I'll tell you, I'm taking December 25th to the 31st, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not treating clients. All I'm going to be doing is identifying all my core values in all areas of my life. Then I'm going to take them and I'm going to design my ideal life for 2019. Okay? It's that important. If you do that, you will be amazed at what you discover about yourself, and you will have a framework to make choices.
Framework, and then they do what to make the framework work?
Framework work. There's two things. You got to learn how to make decisions. If you look at the truth, then you have to make a decision. And sometimes it will be too hard for you. It'll take time for you to get enough courage to make the decision. But that's okay. At least start to know and understand who you are and what's important to you. And then if you need real help, someone like myself, great hypnotherapist that is really good, get somebody to work on your subconscious so that you can clear out the things that are holding you back. If you keep trying, if you're trying to do something and your life is stuck and you're not getting anywhere, that is a subconscious program stopping you. That's where someone like me comes in.
So when you start to work on the framework and it doesn't work, now you need to take an action because it's a subconscious mind problem.
That's right. That's how you find that it's a subconscious block. Because if you try hard, you take decisions and then it dies. It keeps getting stopped. That's the subconscious. Then you need someone like me, somebody that can surgically stop it, shut it off.
After they find out that they have a subconscious mind problem? How much time would it take for them to feel the difference and to reach their potential?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Some people, it depends on the person and what the how complex the belief, how much it's woven into them. I'll give you an example. Let's say it's a lady, and every time she meets a man, she'd like to get married. They meet her and then they leave. They meet her and then they leave. They meet her and then they leave. So it's a subconscious, something's wrong. So they talk to me, and then I find out in their history that she was sexually abused as a child. That energy is living in her. And when people meet her, they don't know what it is. It just makes them go away. So once I know that, I shut that trauma off. I can shut it off. That vibration goes away. When it goes away, men will feel welcome to come in. This all has to do with physics, quantum physics, and frequencies. So let's say a negative belief is living in your brain, and the way it is configured, it's just energy. It's like an energy circuit. Okay, like if you think of a light bulb, the negative thought, the light bulb is on. So I use another frequency that cancels it. So the light bulb shuts off. When I cancel it, I need to put something in. You can't just take something out without putting something in. If you don't, something else will go in that you don't want. And then I ask your body, I talk to your body using a process called kinesiology. And when I use kinesiology, I'm talking directly to your subconscious mind. That science was developed by a great man that I studied with for 16 years named Dr. George Goodhart Jr. Okay, he's the founder of applied kinesiology, one of the most brilliant men that ever lived. So anyway, I put in the good frequency that lights your brain up and makes everything positive. So basically, I'm shutting off negatives and I'm lighting up positives.
Kind of an energy healing process, or is it?
It's an energy, the science that they're calling these things now, they use a term called energy psychologies. So Psych K is an energy psychology, but the one I use is from BEST, which is Bioenergetic Synchronization Technique. Things like Reiki are energy healing too. The problem with Reiki, I'm a Reiki master, but the only problem with Reiki is sometimes you can go and say your shoulders hurt. So you get Reiki and the pain goes away, but it comes back. If it comes back, it means the problem is in the subconscious. It's not in the shoulder. The shoulder is talking to you symbolically. If it's the right shoulder, it's a responsibility you're carrying for the future. If it's the left shoulder, it's a responsibility that you got from the past that you're dragging. Long story short, folks, I hope you all have a wonderful year. I hope you take time to sit down with yourself, categorize all the different areas of your life, identify your core values, and then start the process of making your life fit your values.
Yeah, this is a great advice.
That is something that everyone can do, and it is unbelievably powerful.
Yeah. So I'd like to thank you so much for your time and really, it was very enlightening talking to you. And of course, guys, we're going to have Dr. Grant with us for a lot of podcasts coming up where he enlightens us with his vast knowledge. Keep following Magnificent Magazine, and you're going to find a lot of stuff coming up soon. Thank you, Dr. Grant.
And listen, guys, if you have, I love questions. Send the questions in to Gada, and I'll answer them because I love questions.
Sure.
I
So
just
everybody
love.
ask questions, and Dr. Grant's gonna either write about them on magnificentonline.com or post a video or do a podcast. So feel
Yeah.
to ask all your questions. Thank you, Dr. Grant, so
Yeah.
much. I'm looking forward to meeting you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gada. You're a sweetheart. Thank you very much. And God bless everybody.